Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So what are we doing today? Well, let me tell you, I have been shopping on Etsy again, and I've come across some more pattern companies. I don't know if you've been on Etsy. I imagine you have. If you've gone on there looking for sewing patterns, then you'll know it is basically the Wild West. There are so many pattern companies out there. There are a lot of independents. There are people like me who have put out like 2 or 3 patterns. I think I have maybe 4 patterns on my little shop there, but there are some people that have put out many patterns. There are legit companies and there are also just randoms doing stuff. So it is a little bit of a Wild West. You don't really know what you're paying for when you get the pattern. So of course, I do love a good experiment, and some of these patterns look quite good. So I'm going to put them to the test. Last time I did Series Studios, which was a win in my book. And today we are going to be looking at Rosy's patterns. I say this because I've seen like 4, 5, maybe even 6 things that I'm like, oh yeah, that looks nice. Looking at the website, it looks like Rosy, who is the person who actually makes the patterns herself, and then she sews up a sample, and the pictures are actually pictures of the sample that she's sewn on her own body. Because some of these pattern companies, they're showing you pictures of the ready-to-wear item that they're copying from the runway or from a brand, but you never actually see what the finished product looks like from the actual pattern instructions. So far, so good. So I've picked out 3 patterns that I'm going to make. So with the seasons about to change, we are about to be going into spring. The weather is not as cold as it used to be. Now is a good time to start making a few things for the upcoming warmer weather, which I cannot wait for because I hate winter and I hate the cold. So the size range is also pretty good. It goes from a 2X small to a 5XL, which is actually a pretty good size range. And I think I actually come up as, like, my measurements at the moment come up as a small to medium. So I'll have to figure out which one is the best one for me to make. All of the patterns are really cute, and some of them are actually 2 pieces that are together, so you get a little bit more for your money than you would normally. I have chosen 3 patterns. 2 of them are 2 pieces and 1 of them is a dress. So let me show you which patterns we're going to make, and then I will show you the fabric that I'm going to make it out of. So this is Rosy's patterns, and as you can see, we've got a few featured items here. Same person, same person, same person. Some of them do not, but for the most part, it is literally the same person who's in all of the pictures. I believe this is Rosy. I could be wrong. And there's some really cute stuff. A lot of it's actually quite simple, which makes it really good for being beginner friendly. And yeah, quite like it. Also great for like spring, summer coming up. So the first pattern that I'm going to be making is this butterfly collar and mini dress. As you can see, super cute. This is, I think, Rosy. I'll show you the little video that she made. Slow motion. I think this is a really cute dress. I don't know if it's me. I've never really worn anything like this. I've definitely never made a Peter Pan collar, so I'm quite excited to see how that is going to look. Next up, we have this little 2-piece set, which again, quite summery, will look really nice, like casual with like flats or even like a trainer, but would look really nice dressed up. I can think of like summer and spring evenings with this, and trips abroad with glasses of wine is basically what this is telling me. So I'm quite excited to also make this, and as you can see, same model in all of the pictures, a front and a back shot, so it looks pretty good. And then we've got like all of the size charts. And then lastly, we've got this set, which is actually my favorite. This is what I found that got me onto Rosy's patterns. I thought, what a beautiful set, and I have a yellow linen which would be perfect for this. So now that I saw it, I was like, yes, I absolutely have to make one of these. I don't know if I'm going to make it in a maxi version, but I really think it is quite gorgeous. But like, it screams summertime. So I've already printed off the patterns, which I now have to do all my cutting and gluing and stick together. Once they're done, we can then go ahead and start making the patterns. For the 2-piece set, I'm going to use this linen, which I have been kind of hoarding for maybe a year or 2. I think I'm ready to use it. So this is quite a lightweight linen, and I think it'll be really quite nice. It's a little bit slinky, so I think the skirt will be quite nice in that. For the Peter Pan style dress, I also have this kind of a embroidered cotton with the holes. I think it will be really nice to make it out of this. I might have to line it so that it's not super see-through, or I could make it super see-through because I don't know whether this is lined or not. I will have to check the instructions, but I think this will be quite nice. For the other two-piece set, I decided to go with this patterned viscose. I actually have a lot of viscose, and I feel like that two-piece set would be actually really nice in something like this, especially the short flowy top. If it works out, because we don't know how these are going to fit on my body, but if it works out, I will probably make the top in a few other different colors, maybe a plain one, but I thought we would go with a pattern first because essentially we've got two plain colors here, so we can do a pattern for the two-piece. So that's the plan. Those are the three items I'm going to make. I'm quite excited because the pictures on the model, on Rosy, look great. I just hope that they look as good on me. I need to gather the rest of my materials, some zips, notions, stuff like that. But before we do anything else, I need to stick all these patterns together. So the most tedious part of this whole thing is sticking together the PDF patterns. Right, all the patterns have been cut out, and now we are going to cut out the fabric. So it feels like I've spent the entire day cutting and sticking, but we are done. I actually changed my mind for the Peter Pan dress. I've got this really nice lemon cotton that I thought I would use instead. This one is going to be the same, and then this is the linen. So now I've just got to decide which one to start sewing first. It is the next day and I am ready to sew. I have cut everything. I haven't interfaced anything, so maybe I'm not quite ready for sewing, but we can do the interfacing like just before we start project. Let us get started on the first one. So I've got orange in the machine at the moment. So we're going to go with the Serena two-piece set, which is going to be made out of this fabric. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see how this is going to turn out. Hopefully all is well. I measured myself, and according to the size chart, I come out at an exact medium. So that is what we've cut out. I'm not making any adjustments. We're going to follow the instructions and we'll see what we come up with at the end. So we have put the back piece together, which is basically like a little peplum top. We've got this bottom bit here, which I have hemmed. The serger is in the shop at the moment, so we are not serging anything, so I need to make sure that everything is properly hemmed, which is really nice. I actually am quite liking this so far. So this is the top bit, neckline's been done. I now have these pieces here, which is the two front bodice pieces with the two bits at the bottom that need to be gathered and attached just like this. So once these four pieces are put together, I'll have two front pieces and one back, and we can put together the top. This is the top so far. So while this fits the mannequin, because the mannequin is also the same measurements, I am not entirely sure that this is going to fit me. Thing is, when I measure my bust area, it measures as the same, but the proportions are much different. So I suspect that when I try this on now, this isn't even gonna cover my chest at all. Let's find out. Okay, so this is what it looks like on. It looks like a tiny little waistcoat, and it doesn't really want to close. There'll be 2 ties here, but my boobs are supposed to be in this section here and this section here, and they're just sat on top of my boobs. So either my boobs are sitting too low and they're too big, I'm not sure what it is, but apparently this is supposed to be 2 centimeters bigger than my current bust measurement. I don't believe it. All right, enough of me being naked online. We are going to cut out another top. I've got more than enough fabric left, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to have a look at the larger sizes just to have a look and see what the size proportions are, because instead of cutting the fabric and all of that, cutting the pattern, I might be able to just print off the larger and make minimal modifications to that, because I do want this to fit. This smaller one I'm gonna also finish, and then I'm gonna send it to my friend because she's got cute itty bitty boobies and it will look great on her. So I'd never make for anyone else, but like, it's her lucky day because I don't want to waste this fabric, and the sewing is actually very neat. So I'm just gonna finish it, package it off, and then we can finish this, because I also want to make that skirt. I know the skirt fits, the hips are fine, it's just the boobs that are the bane of my life.
So it's been a couple of hours, I've had dinner, I've had a glass of wine, and I gave up on the top temporarily because after a lot of measuring, I realized that the top is just not going to fit my bust. We have the same measurements, but my cup size is much larger. And this is the bit where I would say, if you have a larger cup, do a full bust adjustment. The only thing is, I absolutely loathe doing them. I cannot think of doing anything worse. Between that and doing buttonholes, I absolutely hate them. So if there's any way that I can just not do that, then I will probably try and do that first. Either way, that top is going to be too small for my bust. It's just not working. We're going to cut out the larger size. So I cut out a medium to begin with. We're going to cut out a large. And then with the rest of the fabric I have left, and I have quite a bit, we can cut out our new pattern pieces. But I will probably have a look and just do a little tissue fit just to see if it's going to fit over the chest. I know I said I was going to do it right out the packet, but I know that this is going to be really, really cute. I've just made the skirt, so I'm going to make sure this fits. But let me show you the skirt real quick. So this is the skirt. It's actually quite high-waisted. I actually made it a little bit smaller here at the waist, and we've got a zip at the back, and it's got darts, which I really, really like. There's also a little slit at the back so I can walk, which is also really, really cute, and I quite like it in this orange. Now, to finish this, it says just to fold over, but I think this will work much better, especially because there's a zip with a facing. So I'm going to create a facing from scratch so I can put it in here and we can have a better finish, and then I will hem the bottom and this skirt will be done and we can go back to the top. It is the next day, and last night I was showing you the skirt that I made. I've made the facing, but I haven't attached it yet, so that is what we are going to go do. But I also put together the larger version of the top, and it fits a lot better now. So let me very quickly show you. Reason why my pants are like this is because every time I'm trying on the top and stuff, I have to take my clothes off. Any of you spend all of your time in the studio basically half naked because you're always trying on your clothes. So easy access, right? Much better, much better. I mean, my boobs are not up here, but this is very much more the fit that we were looking for. And I did this by printing off the larger size. And as you can see, I made a little bit of an addition. I added about 1.5 inches of extra straight down the middle. So this is 1.5 inches wide longer, and so is the front. I did the same for the front pattern, and everything is fine. And now this is the fit that I was looking for. But now we need to put sleeves on it. So I'm going to put the sleeves on, we're going to add the ties, and then I'm going to put the facing on the skirt, and then this little outfit is done.
skirt is also done. I put in a facing that kind of goes to about here so that when you open up the zip, it looks nice and finished. And this is the final look. I actually think it's very cute. I like it. But for now, I'm quite happy. Okay, so now that we've finished this piece, we can now get started with this outfit. This is the one that I'm actually quite excited for. So I'm going to do this one next. Yeah, okay, so I need to read through the instructions and then we can get to sewing. I also need to make sure I have the right trim and see if I can find a zipper for the skirt. But yeah, let's get started. So I've made the top. Now it's not finished, as you can see, there's lots of raw edges, but this pattern only has one layer. So if you want the inside to look pretty, you either need to like bind or use a serger. I think this fabric is too thin to do that. So I'm going to actually cut out another one, and that's going to be the lining, and I'm going to line this. So this top part is pretty much done. Now I need to cut out another version, sew that together, and we can start sandwiching our lace pieces and closing it up and turning it into a really cute top. I need to be honest with you guys, it's been about a week and a half and I've done nothing because I've been away. I went to the Lake District, I did some hiking, there was spa action, it was great. Now that I'm back and I've had some time to marinate in the progress I've made so far with Rosy's patterns, I have decided that we're going to start again. We've already made one outfit and I love it, it's great. But the other two, I'm realizing, even though I've already cut them out, which is very annoying, I've already cut them out, I don't think they're gonna fit like I think they're gonna fit. This is mostly because after making the first pattern, I'm realizing that the patterns have been drafted with a B cup in mind. And I am like an F/G cup. So even though I might be the same measurements, my cup size is actually larger and my back size is smaller. So for instance, my mannequin is 88 in the bust. I am also 88 in the bust, but the back on that is wider and the cups are smaller, whereas my back is smaller and my cups are bigger, still amounts to the same size, but a complete different measurement. So all the tops that I'm making in the size that I think that I am is not fitting the cups that I currently have. So I've actually already kind of half made up one. I'll show you and you'll be able to see what I mean. So this top is not finished. This is the two-piece set that I was making. And while the back and it all fits together, the cup does not fit my boobs at all. It's because the cup size is for a size maybe B, definitely probably a B, and I need more space here. Now what I would say is on paper, before you even cut out your pattern, you would make your adjustments. You would do a full bust adjustment. I absolutely hate to do those though. They're not difficult, but it just requires a lot of extra work that I, at this stage in life, am not willing to do. I imagine that will change as the problem arises again. Maybe one day I'll take the time to just do it, or maybe I'll even research a faster way to do it, because the way that I'm doing it, it feels like it takes forever, and that's why I'm so impatient about it. So what I normally do to bypass the whole full bust adjustment thing is make the larger size, which will fit my cup, and then just size down on the sides and the back, which for me is just a lot easier fix. That means I get the cup size that I want, and I just kind of fit things to fit my waist. Now that might be different if you've got something like a princess seam or a different kind of style line, but in this case, I think we can get away with it. So that's what I mean by starting again. I have this, I don't have a lot of fabric left. This is all I have left to make another top. This top I self-lined, so I think what I will do is line this with another fabric. This can be the top, something lighter and invisible can be underneath, and I think that's going to be what we do. So I'm going to find a lining now. I'm going to put together the larger top size, and we're going to make it again and finish it so we can try it on. It is the next day and we have finished the top. We've got the little elastic bang thingies, we've got our little buttons, we've got our little tie at the back, and it's very cute. Now this morning I am going to do the skirt, which is really, really simple. So this is the skirt. According to the instructions, we sew the side, and then we put elastic in the waist and then hem the bottom. So that feels pretty straightforward. So we're gonna go do that, and then we will have finished outfit number 2.5 weeks after I started it. Final outfit. As you can see, I've put the same ribbon on the top of the skirt as I have for the rest of the top. This is what it looks like. I'm definitely wearing the wrong underwear for this, but I really like how it looks all together. The only thing I have to decide now is hemming. The way that the pattern is meant to be all the way to the floor, but if I'm going to be honest, I don't really wear skirts like this. Maybe I should start, because I think it looks really nice, but if I'm gonna wear it the way that I would, and if I'm going to wear it a lot, I think it should be at a length that works for me. So I think I'm gonna cut this to knee length. Still kind of got that floaty summer vibes. I can definitely wear it with like a nice sandal, something like that. Yeah, I think that's gonna work a little bit best for me. So we're gonna end up chopping off so much, which is very annoying because I thought I had no fabric left. And it turns out I've got all of this left at the bottom. So yeah, I'm gonna chop it. I just folded it up. I think this is kind of the length that I'm gonna go. It will look a little different to this because it's a little bit fitted here, and then it kind of flutes out a little bit. So this is more of the look I'm going for. Although floor length really does look nice. It's just not really for me. But I do love it. It's just not quite for me. So it's been a couple of days since I finished my little two-piece in yellow, and I'm very happy with it. Now we're going to do the final piece that I've decided to make, which is the butterfly dress pattern. I believe that's what it's called. I'll fling it up here so you can have a look. It's basically a Peter Pan collar dress, which I've never worn before. Peter Pan collars have been really popular on and off over the years, and I've never worn one. So now we're gonna make one and see how it actually looks on me. I'm making it out of this very nice like blush pinky linen. I chose this because the linen is actually a lot sturdier fabric, gives it a little bit more structure. Before I start though, we can do a quick summary of how I'm feeling about Rosy's patterns as a pattern company. I really like all of the patterns that are on there, and I think they're actually very much suitable for beginners. However, there are a few things, like if you are not a beginner sewist and you have been making clothes for a long time, you're used to making things a certain way, you will be adding steps to this. Almost all of the patterns, none of them have linings. So if you prefer to line your dresses, line your skirts, put facings on things so that there are clean finishes instead of folding over twice, then you will have to add that like as an extra step. So because of that, it does make it beginner friendly, because you don't have to bag out anything or have to learn how to understitch, because there is no linings that we're working with. So I've been adding linings because I know the fabric that I'm working with was fraying a little bit, and I also wanted it to have a little bit more structure, so that's why I added lining. And also with facings for the zip up skirt, the first little two-piece that I made, I added a facing because adding a zip and basically folding over didn't quite work with me. I just wanted it to last longer, and I also wanted it to look nice from the inside as well. So that's why I added a facing, and now it does look nice and it fits and it feels a lot more secure in the waist area. So next up, we're going to make this dress. I'm going to make it without a lining because the linen is quite thick anyway. Also, I want it to be a light and airy dress, but we will see what they use for the buttons. Maybe it's like a self-fold placket. I haven't actually looked that far in the instructions, so we'll see how it works out. But I will not be lining this, and we'll be trying to make it just as the instructions say. So wish me luck, and let's get sewing. Made the front piece and we've got the back piece. I'm gonna join them together, and then we're gonna try it on just to see how the fit and how much I need to take in on the sides. It has buttons at the front, but it also has a side zip, so I need to definitely make the adjustments before I put the zip in. So that's why I'm gonna kind of turn this into like a little jacket, and then we'll see how it fits. This is it. I'm wearing it inside out, and I've also folded where the button placket is going to be. So, and I've pinned it shut so we can see what it's looking like. I'm actually quite happy with where my boobs are sitting in this. It doesn't feel restricted, which is great. But now we just need to deal with the waist. So as you can see, if we want it to be a fitted dress, we actually do need to take off quite a lot. And I suspect that if I had done the medium like I originally intended to, this wouldn't be a problem, but we would have a problem here. I don't know if I should do it all at the side though. So I might take this off there and then maybe some off the back. So let's pin this. Do it. Don't put pins in your mouth. I know I'm doing it, but don't do that. Seriously, don't do that. I have a really lovely fun story about the time I thought I inhaled a pin because I put it in my mouth, and I thought I put two in my mouth. So then when I took one out and then I breathed in and I was like, where's pin number 2? I thought it was in my throat. That was 6 hours in A&E for them to tell me it's not in my throat. But don't do that, okay? Don't do that. With the new pin sections, doesn't look so bad. I'm going to baste this in so that we can fit again, see how that looks, because it's not quite right with the pins. I think we can get it right. So let me quick baste and we'll try it on again. Okay, so here we are with the basted version. Definitely looks more fitted in the waist, and we've got more of an A-line silhouette going on here. I could definitely go smaller, but I actually kind of like how this is. It feels relaxed, and I don't want it to be too tight because then it becomes uncomfortable. If I'm wearing it and I want to eat something, I don't want to always feel like it's super tight. This is like semi-fitted and it feels comfortable, and again, it's not pulling across my chest. So perfect. So we're going to make these stitches permanent. I'm going to overlock the seams so they're nice and neat, and then we have to put the zipper in and we have to finish these armholes. All right, so dress is kind of nearly done. Well, I say nearly done, but we still need to do the collar. So we've got our little zip at the side, nice. We've finished the armholes with some bias binding, which is what it says to do in the pattern. So that's that. We don't do the buttons and the front until after we've put the collar on, and we can't make the collar until we make the ruffle. So I have sewn up half the ruffle, and now I need to start pulling the basting stitches to ruffle it up. Then I need to iron it flat, and then once we've done that, we can put it in between our two pieces of collar, sandwich it together, and then add it to the dress. I wouldn't say it's coming together quickly, but it's very, very straightforward. So I'm quite happy with that. We might actually get it finished before the end of this day. We have a collar, a ruffled collar, a cute ruffled collar. I've never worn anything that has a collar like this, so this is going to be interesting. How do I look? We have done the majority of the dress. I've pinned it down the middle because I'm just getting a final fit before we put the buttons in and before we hem the bottom. I think this is really cute. I actually really like the collar. I didn't think it was for me, but I'm kind of feeling myself a little bit in this, and I might possibly make this again, but like in a top version, because I actually really like this collar. And thinking about it, I do have a few other patterns from other pattern companies that have this collar, but I was kind of like hesitant on making it. But now that I know that it looks cute, I will probably go ahead and make those too. So yeah, be prepared to see me in a few more of these big flappy collars. Anyway, I want to get the buttons done and the hemming done so that then I can show you all of the 3 outfits that I made and how I style them.